Good morning, it's Jonathan Barrett with the morning debrief. It's currently the 16th of December. Not many days left until Santa comes, not many sleeps left anyway, but the market's still remaining as volatile as ever. There's certainly no doubt about it. We did get a bit of a respite last night. We had a Spanish bond auction that went up okay. It was in fact oversubscribed, so that provided us with a little bit of optimism towards the market. In addition to that, we had some relatively okay figures in the States. As mentioned, a few of those numbers are looking quite good. However, the market seems to discount them. Relatively okay. Let's run through some numbers now. Or the news first, then we'll look through some numbers. And I guess the most important thing is IMF's Lagarde Europe crisis is escalating. That to me remains quite a bit of an issue there because that's what we've mentioned in our bulletins. Other bits and pieces, when you look at stocks climb as US data shows stronger economy, I like that. That's not too bad. Commodities ease some of their gains, we know that. US jobless claims hit a 3-year low. Manufacturing from China we know will shrink. We've also suggested that's happening in India. So hopefully we'll see American demand pick up whilst we see a slack off or temporary slack off in demand from India and China. So that's something we're going to have to be focusing on quite concernedly. Apart from that, crude oil continues to falter. Obviously, certainly issues there on economic growth potential. Let's have a look around the world on the equity markets and see what we come up with. The Dow Jones was up 45 points, nothing too strong. S&P was up 3. The FTSE, the Euro Topics was up 18. The FTSE was up 34. CAC was up 22. And if we look at the local market on the future side, you can see our local market was also just up a fraction at 4135, up 19 there. So that's going to be pretty close to watch. Let's have a look at some of those commodities now. Interesting night, but not all that positive across the board. I would have expected perhaps a little bit more of a rebound, but as you can see, Brent crude was down 1%. West Texas was down 90 to 93.49. Broke through that critical 95 we've had. So people are still unsure what's happening there. Probably expect things to continue to go lower. And as you can see, as we run through the commodities, soybeans was the only update, which was good, and wheat was down, corn was down, etc. Industrial metals, copper ended up down 2.5 at 325. We have a short position on copper, and gold down 16 at 1570. Silver up 13 at 2906. So when you look at it from that perspective, relatively mixed night, but at the end of the day, still got to be cautious, particularly on those demand expectations out of India and China. We are seeing, I think, more concerns there. We do have some data out in China today, and obviously a lot of data in the States, but we'll go through that in a sec. Okay, let's run through now. Let's have a look at a couple of the markets, and then we'll look at some of the figures coming out. Pretty important Tier 1 data. Dollar index is the key, 80.33. It's got to stay above this 80 level, I think, in order to be positive. Expect some sideways consolidation, which is all good, but as we've mentioned before, the trend is there. Just look at that. And you can actually see there that expectations moving up to that 85, I think, are certainly well on the cards. Okay, let's have a look at some of the others. Crude, 93.39, it breaks through that important area. It still remains soft. But we have reiterated that it isn't soft, and it's breaking through that 95, then down she comes. My feeling on the price of crude is it can come all the way down to about that 90, even down to 85. So I think it does look quite soft at the moment, and don't mind being short that commodity. And yeah, don't mind being short that commodity. Copper is the same sort of scenario. Just have a look at these daily charts, and the daily charts are suggesting that it can come under pressure. As you can see, both these commodities are actually following this sort of consolidation, and I do like it because the copper market can come all the way back down to test this area down here, if that's the case, which is 274. But we are right on this little trend here, so stay focused on that. Because if it does take out that area there, which it does look as if it has, then you could see quite a different story. Anyway, it's right on it. We'll get a decisive move pretty soon. Okay, now looking at that's pretty much on some of the main ones we're looking at. I think if anything, staying long is the right way to be. On the local Dow, let's just have a look at that. And there you can see that steady, but I think it's a bit momentum indicators are still pretty down, so I expect there's more bias to the downside. Local market presents another similar story. I'd like this formation, but I think it's filling this gap, as we mentioned the other day. Might be just a little bit weaker. Those momentum indicators remain weak. Alrighty-ho. Now let's have a look at the economic calendar, because there are some important data out tonight. Obviously, coming in, we've got the CPI, which is obviously one of the keys. And I will just get up another chart on that, because I do like a particular one there, because it'll actually give us a bit of a repeat as to what happened last night. This is the handy little one, the FXstreet.com one, which I particularly like. Okay, producer prices was 5.7. That was down a little bit, so that's not too bad at all. Capacity utilisation, up attack, as we mentioned, relatively okay numbers from there. I think the key capacity utilisation a little bit weaker, so not too good for now. Industrial production down, so that's weaker. But tonight, the most important ones we've got there, CPI in the States, and it's not here, but I also believe we've got some data out of China, or maybe that's next week. But CPI is the most important. I expect that to be steady, if not even a little bit lower. Okay, well that's pretty much about it for today. I hope everyone has a good weekend, and happy trading, and just get used to this volatility. Bye for now.